Well, hello and welcome to this week's Lanzarote news from Venice. Yes, we're here. We came to Venice earlier this week and we're shooting this video from our hotel room, which is actually on the island of Venice. We've had a fantastic time here, and if any of you want to follow our travels, go and visit facebook.com/CamelTravelUK, and we write a daily blog on there with photos and videos showing what we've been doing. Later on today we're going to board our cruise ship, which is called Silver Moon, to do a cruise down through the Adriatic and around and back up through the Mediterranean. So we're really excited about that and looking forward to it. But you're not here to see and hear about our travels, you're here to get the Lanzarote news, so let's move straight into that. Well, the first story is that as of this coming Monday, you will have to pre-book and pre-buy your tickets for Cueva de los Verdes. This is the first of the official CACT visitor centres which is moving to this new protocol, and basically you can go online to the CACT website and you can pre-book a time slot, and you'll be allowed to arrive at that time slot and go through your visit as normal at Cueva de los Verdes. And as I say, this kicks into action this coming Monday, which is the 29th of July. It will, I believe, filter across to all the other official visitor centres, so Timanfaya, Mirador del Rio, the Cactus Gardens and so on. The reason for it is, of course, to reduce the amount of queuing people are having to do, and also to give people a better visitor experience, because at peak times these centres are absolutely rammed with people and it's quite difficult to get round. And this is a way of limiting the numbers within each time slot. So I see it as a good thing. Inevitably there are people whinging on social media that, oh, it's going to be really difficult for old people to do. Well, I'm an old person. I'm more than capable of booking a tour online, and I'm sure that most people are. But if anybody is struggling to do it, get in touch with me and I will endeavour to help. Now, talking of queues, we've had reports this week about long queues at the airport, and I kind of felt this was going to be inevitable this summer. The issue we've got, of course, is that a very high proportion of our visitors to Lanzarote are coming from countries outside the EU, and it means that their passports need to be stamped in and out of the country by the immigration service here, and this is absolutely peak time. This week, next week, and the week after, there are so many flights coming in from the UK, which is now, of course, outside the EU, and it means that because they're all kind of arriving together, they're all departing between 7 and 8 a.m. and all arriving together in the middle of the day at Lanzarote, there's this massive influx of people, and it's taking some time for them to get through. One of our readers told us it took them 2 hours to get through immigration yesterday. It is a temporary thing. Obviously, the massive number of flights will go down again in 2 or 3 weeks' time, so it should settle back to how it was before that. But we do have this new entry-exit system, which is an EU-wide system coming in, hopefully in the autumn, October, November time. And as soon as that's operational, that should streamline things a lot. And you'll be able to just put your passport on a scanner and that will open an e-gate and you'll be able to walk through. So hopefully this is a temporary thing, but do allow for a bit of extra time if you're arranging pickups from the airport and stuff like that for now. We have the Danish Prime Minister on the island, Mette Frederiksen. She's actually here at Club La Santa for both a holiday and, as she put it, to get back in shape, which is quite nice to hear. And she joins a long list of European prime ministers and political leaders who have chosen Lanzarote for a holiday visit. What we tend to get when one of them comes here is, because there's a lot of press about the island in the country that they're coming from, is an increase in visitors from that particular area. So we're looking forward to welcoming lots more Danish visitors in the future to Lanzarote. Good news for cyclists. The Cabildo has approved creating a cycle lane between the villages of Uga and Yaisa. And I think this is a really good move because I've cycled that section of road many times, and it's not particularly wide, and there's a few bends in it, and you just feel slightly exposed as a cyclist. And I'm sure car drivers would prefer for cyclists to be off that piece of road so they don't have to overtake, and that should be the result of the new cycleway being put in. We don't quite know where it's going to run yet, but I'm hoping, or Julie's hoping particularly, that it doesn't replace the camel track which goes between the two villages, which is a really nice walk. Hopefully it will be near there, but to one side of it or the other. The project is only just going out to tender, so it's not going to be imminent, but we'll look forward to that opening up, and we'll certainly be riding that as soon as it opens as well, and shooting some video for you. Now, you probably know Pla Chica, which is the small beach in Puerto del Carmen, kind of between the new town and the old town of that resort. Well, this week it was declared a smoke-free zone, so there is now no smoking allowed on Pla Chica and in that sort of promenade area immediately in front of it. This has been announced by the Ayuntamiento of Tias, and they're actually going out to what they call citizen consultation. So they're going to ask people if they would like them to do the same on all the other beaches of Puerto del Carmen. The aim, of course, is to reduce the number of cigarette butts that are left on beaches. And we've been part of some beach cleanups, and it's absolutely incredible how many cigarette ends you end up filling massive plastic bags with these things. Ayuntamiento are going to ask citizens whether they want to either totally ban smoking on all beaches in the municipality, or to create smoking areas to one side of the beaches so that people who are enjoying them can go off and have a puff in the corner. So we'll keep you posted on what comes out of that, but for the moment it only affects Pla Chica and there is no smoking there. Now, you might think with no natural water at all, and as you probably know, all the water on Lanzarote comes from desalination. So with no natural water at all, it would be expected that it would be quite hard to grow stuff. And yes, that's true. But historically, a lot of the fields on the island were put over to growing the things that would grow here with very limited water. And they are potatoes, sweet potatoes, onions and peppers and things like that. But for the last few years, the Cabildo has been encouraging people to try different crops to see what would grow effectively on the island. And we're now seeing a plethora of really interesting stuff like pitaya fruit, dragon fruit. We're seeing a variety of asparagus, which comes from Andalusia, which will grow reasonably well here, and apparently has a very delicate flavour. I haven't tried it yet, but we saw it at the market in Aria last weekend. And all kinds of interesting, exotic, different fruit. So do look out for it when you're visiting the fresh produce markets, for example at Uga, Aria or Arrecife, and do look out for it in the fruterias, the independent fruterias on the island, because you might find some interesting stuff you haven't tried before. We're very lucky. Our neighbours Pedro and Inma, they have a finca and they're growing some of this stuff and kind of experimenting and learning what works and what doesn't, and they quite often come knocking on our door with a carrier bag of stuff to try, and it's absolutely delicious and organic. If you're in Puerto del Carmen this summer, keep an eye out for German and Italian police. And we've done this before, actually. It's a kind of exchange program where cops from here go to work in their countries and learn a bit about how they police. And we have German and Italian cops working alongside Policia Local from the Canaries in the resorts in Puerto del Carmen this summer, so that they can again learn how we police, but they're also there on hand to help tourists who might need some assistance, who only speak Italian or German. So don't be surprised if you're walking down the street in Puerto del Carmen and you see a carabinieri or a German copper walking towards you. They are there, and we know all about it. And let me remind you once again, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do. We really value the number of you who are watching these weekly videos that we're producing, and we just want to grow our user base more and more and reach more and more people in the way our website Lanzarote Information does. I've said before and I'll say it again, please leave a comment if you've got any questions or any feedback you want to give us. We read every single one of them, and if you have a question, we will always reply, and touch wood, I think we generally know the answer to your questions. And staying with Puerto del Carmen, some people contacted me last week and said the e-scooters are back. Those are the app scooters that you can scan, the electric scooters, you can scan and ride. And they suddenly appeared back in the resort last week. My guess, and this is only a guess, is that they were the ones that had been removed from Playa Blanca a couple of weeks before, and my guess is that the company involved just decided to try it on and put them in Puerto del Carmen. The Ayuntamiento of Tias immediately asked the police to remove them, and they have now gone again, and they made the point that the company involved had no permission to put them back on the streets of Puerto del Carmen. Long story short, they were just trying it on, and they've gone again. Now, work has started on the new bus station or terminus for Costa Teguise, and this is going in the area between the new civic buildings and the international school there. They've literally just broken ground, so it's very early days. It's a €2 million project, and what will come out of it is an intercambiador, a sort of bus changeover place where you can buy tickets and season tickets, bonos for the buses. There'll also be a taxi rank in there, and there will be a cafeteria and public toilets as well. So work started on that, and we'll keep you posted on it. We'll certainly shoot some video as it's going along, and we're looking forward to seeing what it looks like when it's finished. And finally, good news for those of you who like to visit the Papagayo beaches during the summer. The road going out there, which is of course is a dirt road, is being regraded this week. And what they do is they sort of skim the top layer off it, they put another load of gravel down on it, and then it all gets rollered in with a very heavy roller. So it never lasts that long, but certainly for the next few months or so it should be a smoother ride down to Papagayo, and then inevitably you'll get that kind of washboard effect coming in, but hopefully not for a few months. And that's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. As I said before, we really appreciate every single view we get on this channel, and we maintain our promise. We won't clickbait you, and we won't try to sell you anything. We'll just provide the news every Saturday morning for you from Lanzarote. Thank you, and bye for now.